Hey y'all, it's Kobe R. Rice, and I'm back again for another weekly creative update, except this one is super duper late. And it's not the weekly update that's late, it is actually my quadrimesterly self-review and evaluation that's late. So I am so sorry about that, guys. You guys technically were supposed to get this at the end of August, like literally on September 1st or something like that. So I am quite literally almost 6 weeks behind in getting you guys this update. So sorry about that, but I just wanted to come back and finally record this creative milestone update for you guys, just to show you what I've gotten done in between May 1st of this year, 2018, and what I did from then all the way up to September 30th of this year, 2018. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right in and give you guys my list of creative milestones by category. And for those of you who are watching the video version of this, if I'm looking back and forth between the screen and the other side of my screen, it's because I'm reading off of my little notes function here. So just bear with me as usual, okay? All right. So what did I get done this quadrimester for these 4 months? So for graduate school in particular, why did I put this here? Actually, that's so strange. Finished my second year of graduate school out of 3. I think that was the achievement for the first quadrimester, but we'll leave that there. So you guys know that I finished my second year of graduate school out of 3, and I'm actually smack in the middle of my 3rd and last year, which is super exciting. Same thing with teaching. I had a really, really rough go of it with my teaching for the past 2 years, in the sense that I had so many papers to grade, so many things to do. It was just really overwhelming and stressful, but this year is a lot less crazy, which is great. So got through that. This year I finished a new play dramaturgy protocol, which consisted of my dramaturgy materials for 2 10-minute plays and for 1 full-length play, with working playwrights. Some of them are veterans and well-known, others are new, etc. So that was really great. So I added a new play dramaturgy protocol to my classical protocol. And this semester, I'll be working on my experimental dramaturgy protocol. Yay. I also wrote an artist manifesto for graduate school, successfully pitched my master's thesis on Shakespeare's Roman history tetralogy, which you guys know I'm excited about. I'm excited about that in theory. Sometimes when I sit down to actually do the thesis, I'm not as excited about it. Go figure. But it is what it is, right? I also engaged in a heck of a lot of job prep because, as you guys know, it's my 3rd year. So now it's really time to start thinking about what will be happening after I leave my graduate program. And I just need to make sure that I have like a solid plan all the way from plans A to plan Z, just to, make sure that I am adequately prepared for the workforce as an artist and as a teacher. So that's been happening. And then I also dramaturged a friend's piece, which was really great. And she actually had a reading recently over the summer after I helped to give some dramaturgical feedback on that piece. And it wasn't just me dramaturging the piece. There were other people who were giving feedback on her piece. And it's a really amazing piece. And so I'm excited. So that was what was going on for my graduate school teaching. You guys know how I feel about graduate school as a whole. And so I try not to spend too much time on it. And when I try to put together these resumes of what grad school is giving me, I really try to stick to the skills that were either super significant when I finally achieved them, or that are going to greatly contribute to my success in the field as a filmmaker, as a screenwriter, as a novelist, as a game designer, as a business builder, etc., etc. So that's what I try to do when I put together these milestones. Anyways, on to novel writing. Let's see what happened here. Oh, as you guys know, I wrote and finished my novella called The Camille. which is the first of, I believe, 50 episodes, 50 forthcoming episodes of my newest series that deals with the nanopunk, fempunk, and techno thriller genres. So that's pretty exciting. Finally getting another property out there and publishing it and having people actually like it, which was really great. I also did a lot of world building for 3 particular series in these past 4 months, and that was for my Asylum series, a new sort of spin-off series that is called Rapture, and then the Books of Ezekiel series. So for Asylum, basically the entire summer I have been really at odds with myself as to whether or not to develop a full-on prequel trilogy for the Asylum series, or if I just wanted it to be a 4-book sort of quartet. And because my world building often gets super duper out of hand and cray cray, I just decided, hey, I'm going to turn this into basically a 6-book series, trilogy 1 and trilogy 2 with a prequel, and that's just how we're going to roll. So Asylum is now officially a 6-book series, a 7-book series if you count the free prequel that will be coming. And oh my gosh. So the books are now entitled Sodom, Lustrum, Sanctum, Asylum, Bedlam, Hoodlum. And I believe book number 1 at this moment is called Peplum, but we might be changing it into something different. You know, who knows? So that's what was happening for Asylum. For Rapture, that's a 7-book series. And all I did was add it to the project slate, and I started working out a really loose book-by-book plot. And that is going to be a spin-off, or sort of like a mini microcosm spin-off of the Godsman series that I'm also sort of working on and off, which I'll be getting into a little bit more later in this update when I talk about the goals. But so I worked on that. And then for the Books of Ezekiel, obviously continued developing the plots, the world, and the character arcs for the Books of Ezekiel. That's my biggest, largest, most encompassing series right now. So world building on that at any point in time is always a good thing because there's a lot of world building to be done. So that's really great and fun. So with all this world building and series starting, I actually, for the past 4 months, only got about 14,572 words written, which is not that much, honestly. It's actually pretty pathetic, especially considering that at the beginning of this year, I was averaging about 20,000 words a month with that deadline looming over me. So, I could have done a lot better. And I'm going to try to do better in this next quadrimester, even though we're already 6 weeks into this quadrimester and I haven't been doing as well as I want to. I sort of have to because I have like 3 deadlines looming over me right now. So of that 14,572 words, I mostly worked on the Books of Ezekiel, the Asylum series, and the Hitman of Happily Ever After series. Okay, so those are the series I've been working on. Mainly Hollow Point. That's what I've been really focusing on. And then sort of as an extension of these next properties becoming TV series, I started developing a few serialized novel series for Morian, which is the story of the Black Knight of the Round Table, the Books of Ezekiel. Wait, how is that a serialized novel series? Let me get rid of that because that's not even true. Let me move that out of the way. Sorry. So I've been working on developing the Morian serialized novel series, the Immortal serialized novel series, the Camille serialized novel series, and Surrogate, which is going to be a serialized novel series. On the flip side of that, getting into TV writing, I'm also working on turning those 4 properties and the Books of Ezekiel property into fully fledged TV series with the actual series planned out, a Bible for each series, and a pilot for each series. So you guys know that I've been super huge, or over the summer, I was super into the TV writing thing, okay? And got really excited about it. I'm still really excited about it. Learned a whole lot of really great information, read a lot of books, took a lot of courses on TV writing, and I literally deluged myself in the craft. And so for the TV writing part of my milestones, basically I started development on those 5 projects. And I also designed a whole bunch of TV writing worksheets, TV development templates, and courses for my own personal use as well as for the Bohemian Badass. And that template, worksheet, and course development process really helped me to synthesize all of that material and help that sort of sit in my spirit and in my writing toolbox. So I feel as though I can use those tools even better now, which is great. But then also I will retool those tools into actual courses and worksheets that I will offer at the Bohemian Badass. Let's see. And that's basically all I got done for TV writing. Was a lot of learning, a lot of tool development, and a lot of series development behind the scenes. So that was really fun and exciting. Directing. For May all the way up to August. Actually, I think I misspoke earlier in the podcast. I said that I was going to talk about what happened from May 1st to September 30th, but that's not true. I'm actually only talking to you guys about what happened May 1st all the way to the end of August 31st. So forgive me on that. Sorry for that me misspeaking on that. But with directing, I still had to do quite a few things toward the end of August. Even though most of my directing took place in September, I still had to do a lot of preparation. So reformatting and resubmitting the 2 10-minute plays that I was dramaturging was a part of the process. I had to work in conjunction with my colleagues on an actual directing plan, which is really great because now I have a template for any sort of show that I want to direct in the future. And I can use that directing plan template to really develop my ideas for any show that I want to direct in the future, which is wonderful. We did a bunch of pre-production meetings, which is an unfortunate part of having to be a director. I'm not a really huge fan of meetings, except to actually meet people and talk to people. But in terms of organization and administration and stuff, I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I do recognize it as a necessary evil, so it is what it is. So we sat a whole bunch of pre-production meetings. We created, in addition to the directing plan, I got my first crack at creating a real rehearsal plan for each rehearsal. So that's really great, and that was really helpful to wrap my head around what needed to be done and what I wanted to focus on. I also wrote up and sent along the casting notice for Erase so that we can get more diverse faces and voices into the show, which is really exciting. And then during the month of August for directing, I attended we had 2 days of casting and auditions, and I attended both. And, casting is no easy thing. Even when you have a relatively small pool to choose from, it's no easy thing. And when you have a lot of talent, and you're trying to fill certain roles, but then you also want to develop talent, that can be kind of difficult and challenging. So I learned a lot about casting, and I learned that 90% of directing is casting. People say that, but you don't really understand it or live it, or you don't understand it or really realize how true it is until you're living it. And I definitely had to, shall we say, make some decisions and then make some new decisions later down the line when I realized that my casting process for my particular plays was not a perfect process. So we'll get into that in the 3rd quadrimesterly update at the end of this quadrimester, which is December 31st. So lots of lessons learned from directing from this quadrimester. But in terms of directing from the Q2 quadrimester, we were just really getting started. So I can't wait until I update you after the 3rd quadrimester is over on all the stuff that I learned from my directing experience. So that was directing. Publishing, lots of stuff done. Again, the Camille sort of, came out the gates screaming in a good way. So that was exciting. It's nice to start a brand new series for Rebel Ragdoll Press. And as you guys know, Rebel Ragdoll Press is my independent self-publishing press, under which I published the titles for the books of Ezekiel and now the Camille. So that's really exciting. I also, just in terms of like the publishing achievements and accomplishments, planned and co-launched the 2054 Cyberpunk Anthology. And so I did a lot for that co-launch. I did some blurb writing for my own story, ARC team recruitment, newsletter swap organization, giveaway setup. I designed and implemented 3 email automations for 3 particular lists so that I can get my ARC list on point, my giveaway list on point, and my general list on point. That's a lot of work. And again, I will be leading you guys through the entire process of putting together an anthology or a box set and marketing and selling that anthology/box set. And I'll do that as I learn new things. The biggest thing that I want to learn this quadrimester, if possible, is learning more about Facebook and Amazon ads. That's definitely going to be something that I'm going to add to my repertoire very soon. And then I'll let you guys know how I'm doing it. Did another co-organization and co-launching of the Uprising box set. And I did a lot of the same stuff for this box set: ARC team recruitment, newsletter swap organization, giveaway setup, email automation, etc. So I started to realize that I was like very adept at doing very specific tasks for these box set launches. And yeah, like that's nice. Always nice to discover yourself as an asset and as sort of naturally gifted or naturally inclined to, be better at certain tasks over others. It's always like a little wonderful, lovely discovery to do that and to find out those things about yourself, because then you can become an asset to any box set or collaboration you become a part of, which is great. Also, as I mentioned to you guys before, I became an Amazon bestselling author on 6 separate lists on Amazon, which was exciting. And overall, I got ranked number 54 as an author on the horror writers list on Amazon. That was temporary, but it was still a nice little ego boost. That was really great. I also, for publishing, continue to update my project and development slate for Rebel Ragdoll as a whole, but especially for the press. And then finally, as like the big hurrah, I finally applied for and achieved LLC status for Rebel Ragdoll Press. So I had LLC status in Wisconsin, where I was living when I first established Rebel Ragdoll Press. But now that I'm here in Tucson, and I plan on restructuring the Rebel Ragdoll Press and like bringing more money into the press, I wanted to make it official with my business, with turning it into an official incorporated business. So yay, congrats for Rebel Ragdoll Press. We finally got like official over the summer, which was really exciting. Let's see. Marketing. I learned a lot about marketing through hands-on experience, mostly through those box set endeavors and launches, which I think about it and I laugh because it's kind of just insane how much work it is. But I literally know now how to do a successful book launch from front to back, from A to Z, and that's always helpful. To me, that's a creative milestone and achievement because I'm adding those skills to my tool set. I also did a whole lot of research and investment in the book publishing, marketing, and selling industry through K-Lytics. So K-Lytics is a data analysis company that focuses specifically on the success and lack thereof of certain books and categories and authors on Amazon.com. And they do a lot of data crunching and a lot of data analysis, and they sell their reports such that other authors like myself can, be looking for a genre to publish in and will sort of know what kinds of tricks and angles and keywords and things that we need to use in order to sort of tweak our ways up the ladder. Now, having market research at my disposal has made me a lot wiser and smarter about what it is I need to do. But it's not going to necessarily change what I am interested in writing. I'm just going to find a way to, again, take what's going on in the market and take what I'm interested in writing and putting those things together. And now I have like an actual real resource that I can use thanks to Klytics. And so I did a lot of investing in their marketing reports, data, and research. And I have a super thick binder helping me to be a better publisher and a better marketer and seller of my books. So that was a major milestone. I also created a crazy intense marketing plan for 2054, the anthology, which is now being repurposed into a more general marketing plan template that I will make available as a download at thebohemianbadass.com. So that's really exciting. And let's see, marketing. Oh, I also continued this podcast, The Epic Fantastical Journey of a Black Female Sci-Fi Writer. So I recorded and uploaded 15 new podcasts over this quadrimester rather, which doesn't seem like an accomplishment, but when you're a podcast producer, trust me, it's not easy. And sometimes just being consistent is a challenge, much less actually getting, all the stuff uploaded and, edited and recorded and all that stuff. Okay. I designed 2 full marketing models, which is really great because it allows me to see where I need to improve and where I'm already strong. I developed these marketing models for my Colby R. Rice brand and for my Rebel Ragdoll Press brand. And I also created a preliminary marketing model for the romance and erotica author brand that I'm not going to reveal quite yet. I think I might have revealed the name of this brand in the past, but just to kind of keep the secrets under wraps, I'm going to keep that hush hush for now. You're going to have to literally dive back through, over 100 hours of podcasts in order if you want to find out what the secret pen name is. So that's on you guys. I also did something that's really important for anybody's business, which is which is identifying and culling all of your cold subscribers on your list. I cannot tell you how refreshing it is to not only be paying less for your Mailer Lite mailing marketing subscription, but also to have a group of readers that is super engaged and not just on your list just because, and that's something I suggest you do. Remove your cold subscribers once every quarter, once every quadrimester, once every, 6 months or whatever you're most comfortable with. But make sure that you do go through and have a process by which you remove cold subscribers. For me, I reach out to them in a very plain text email and I make absolutely sure that they no longer want to be on the list with a really cute, funny, hysterical, I think it's a really witty sort of email that I send out to my cold subscribers, to the point where some of them actually want to stay on the list. And most of them, I would say 0.1% will stay on the list, 0.1 to 1%. And then the rest of them are really are cold subscribers and do not want to be on your list. So if you don't get a response back within a week, delete those people and then move on and say deuces, because they're costing you money. Especially if you have like a tiered plan. If you have like 10,000 to 20,000 subscribers that you need to reach every month, your email marketing service is going to charge you for that tier. But if you're paying for 20,000 subscribers when you really only have 9,000 active subscribers, you could be paying $20 to $30 less per month just by cutting out those cold subscribers and downgrading your service. So just a little ninja tip out there for you guys. Did a lot of individual author promos and newsletter swaps. And I also got a new patron on Patreon who's amazing. I'm really excited about that. It just goes to show that people will love and support what you do. You just have to ask, basically. So that was pretty cool. So let's see, we've covered graduate school, novel writing, TV writing, directing, publishing, and marketing in the past 24 minutes. Let's talk about The Bohemian Badass, the other brands that I'm developing, and my creative uni, okay, which was completely on fleek for this summer. The Bohemian Badass, as you guys know, I went hard in the paint for The Bohemian Badass this summer. It was my goal, and it's a goal that I have achieved, to completely reboot and revamp the blog. And not only did I reboot and revamp the website, which looks amazing, but I also went all the way back to its original mission. And I really reworked the very basic foundations, missions, objectives, goals of The Bohemian Badass. And from there flowed a completely different business model, presence, brand, and name for myself than I had before. And so generally, the things that I did for The Bohemian Badass over the summer break down into 3 primary categories: building infrastructure, branding and building the site, and then content creation. So infrastructural stuff that I was able to get done for The Bohemian Badass included, just basic things like renewing domain names, getting my legal paperwork and policies up on the site, setting up SEO for the actual website, creating a business plan or a business model for The Bohemian Badass, setting up like the nitty gritty stuff like accounting and financial management software. And then also, just like with Rebel Ragdoll Press, I applied for and actually achieved LLC status, which is great. So, that was sort of like more like the nuts and bolts part of The Bohemian Badass. For branding and building, I, again, completely rebranded The Bohemian Badass with different colors, fonts. I completely redid the graphic templates. I designed the full website, which took literally all day, every day for about a month and a half straight. It was a lot of work, okay? No games played. And I pretty much put everything that I ever wanted on an artist learning website onto The Bohemian Badass, so far as categories and just things I plan to offer, etc. So it's set up for ultimate success. I optimized the website for mobile for the most part. I'm sure there's some pages I still have to fix. I also did a lot of self-study of the DV online website development software. So if you don't know what DV is a website builder that allows for a lot of really lovely drag and drop website building. Basically for folks who have no idea how to code a website, like me right here. And it is one of the more powerful web building tools that I've ever used. I really love it. And at some point in the future, I'm going to create a course that's offered at The Bohemian Badass that shows people how to use DV in and out, just inside and out. And so that will be coming later, not anytime soon, but much later. What else did I do for branding and building? I installed my WooCommerce online store for The Bohemian Badass. So that's also a thing that's happening. We're not only teaching, but we're also selling our courses, our books, our merchandise. And so that's been set up as well. And then I developed the most sickening affiliate marketing strategy, which is wonderful, which I have yet to implement because The Bohemian Badass is still sort of idling right now, waiting to be revved up and driven down the road. Content creation, surprisingly, a lot of content creation has been happening for The Bohemian Badass. It just hasn't been posted yet. So I did a script breakdown, as you guys know, of the survival thriller called A Quiet Place, which I'll offer for free at The Bohemian Badass. Generated over 600 blog post ideas and 200 different info product ideas. And so I have an entire project and development slate for The Bohemian Badass that, again, is waiting to be launched. It's just waiting for me to apply myself. I planned out my content for my monthly blog content from this September all the way up to February 2019, excuse me. And so that I have a full editorial calendar ready for the next 6 months. I also, as you guys know, as I was learning how to create TV shows and break down TV shows and develop, television series and stuff like that, I was developing a course, and it actually turned out to be a 5-part course on developing, writing, and then marketing your TV series and pilot. So it's so funny because once I started putting that together over the summer, suddenly I'm getting emails in my box from like different marketers or what have you who are doing the same thing, like at Script Lab or Writer's Digest and Screenwriting U. Just all these. I'm not saying that they're stealing my idea, but I think that TV writing and TV series development is in the ether right now, especially when it comes to the indie space. So I think we're all kind of picking up on the same vibes and we're all doing the same thing. So, go figure, right? I mean, when it's in the ether, people are going to take it and you just have to like keep moving and move on your own ideas. So I am doing that by developing that 5-part course. They're probably actually 5 individual courses, to be really real with you. And so that was a lot of fun in terms of creating that as a product for the Bohemian Badass, which still needs to be finished up. I also designed a really amazing coaching program at the Bohemian Badass, which will open probably sometime early next semester. I wanted it to open now, but with the delays that I've encountered because of my directing experience for September and my master's thesis for the rest of the year, I probably will only have time to do the blog posting and the vlogs and stuff like that. And I'll have much more time for coaching and more intimate one-on-one consultations next semester when I have literally 0 classes that I have to be enrolled in. So, but that's still developed and waiting to be launched. And then I wrote 2 best practices guides for advanced reader team recruitment and for increasing one's list engagement with your email list. And I want to turn those 2 sample guides into more fully fledged, step-by-step guides, because there's a lot of interesting and important information in there about recruiting an ARC team, about increasing your engagement on your list. And I want to make sure that everybody has all the information that they need. So that's basically what I've been doing for the Bohemian Badass. The website is absolutely gorgeous. Even if there's, very little in way of content on it, it still looks really good. If you want to check it out, just go to www.thebohemianbadass.com. That's www.thebohemianbadass.com. So just check that out at your leisure, of course. Other brands I've been working on, moving forward from the Bohemian Badass, Rebel Ragdoll Press, my super secret, top secret romance erotica pen name brand I've been working on. My fashion line brand I've been working on over the summer. There's another brand dealing with single motherhood that I am working on that has to remain semi-secret for, obvious reasons. And then there is a sort of side blog brand that's connected to my romance erotica brand that I've been working on as well. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 brands. I mean, I haven't even brought back up to you guys the idea of the Blackheart Boulange, Blackheart Bakery, Boutique, and Books brands. And the boudoir brands, mostly because I told you guys months ago that I would have to shelve those, but I was still developing the website and everything like that, which is definitely still a thing. That's still a thing, but I needed to wait until I got back home to New York to really launch that in a way that made sense, so I could get all the legal paperwork and, just in hand and together. So those brands are still coming, but I worked on a lot of other brands over the summer. Just when I was burnt out on the Bohemian Badass or Rubber Rag Doll Press or anything else, I was like, okay, well, these brands need to still get developed, so I'm going to work on these. And most of these brands, for most of them, I was developing like a marketing or business model for the brands. I was conceptualizing products for the brands. I was getting logos and domain names registered for these brands. I might have started a little bit of writing for the blogs for these brands, etc., creating a brand identity, etc. So, these are sort of all really light tasks that you can paint on with a really light brush whenever you feel like you need a palette cleanser for the stuff that you're doing on a regular basis. And that's basically what happened with my brands over the summer. So worked a lot on developing in very small ways my other brands, and there you go. Okay. Creative Uni was so on fleek this month or this quadrimester. And a part of that was doing some of the things I had already told you, like going into a super deep analysis and study of the TV writing industry and of the craft. So a lot of my courses revolved around that. I also considered me doing my script breakdown for A Quiet Place to be very educational. So that was a part of my Creative Uni. And in total, I finished 17 courses for my Creative Uni. And I am in the middle, so to speak, of 4 other courses that I'm taking right now, mostly from the Publish Your Thing 10-part mega course, which has blown my mind completely with regard to me starting my own online blogging and infopreneur business. So there's been a lot going on in terms of the learning that I've been undertaking for business, blogging, vlogging, and infopreneurship. But I also took a lot of time to learn the craft of television writing, excuse me, of story development from J.A. Huss, for example. TV writing classes I took were the Create a Binge-Worthy TV series by Screenwriting U. The Shonda Rhimes teaches TV writing masterclass at masterclass.com. And I also learned about creating a real proper marketing plan for your next book, which is how I created those marketing plans for everything else that I did this quadrimester. So that was a super helpful course. I mentioned the Publish Your Thing course, which helped me rebuild the Bohemian Badass from scratch. And I also, it's so funny, all these courses I took actually ended up becoming the foundation upon which I'm building my other endeavors. So the next course that I took was the How to Master Amazon Data to Sell More Books. That was a course that was offered by K-Lytics, and that got me into not only developing a marketing plan, but developing a larger marketing awareness, which I was telling you guys about a few minutes ago by investing in K-Lytics marketing reports and research reports, which is great. I also did a lot of studying on fashion and fashion design over the summer because it's a hobby that I'm interested in resurrecting for myself, but it's also eventually going to, not now, not at this time, but it's going to turn into its own brand and its own sort of separate, shall we say, commercial project eventually, but not right now. So towards that, I did a Business of Fashion course at thebusinessoffashion.com. I also went to masterclass.com to take Marc Jacobs' Fashion Design Masterclass and Diane von Furstenberg's Building a Fashion Brand Masterclass, which I thought was excellent. I did some more courses on author marketing and success, one by Jay Thorne, and the other by J.A. Huss, because she not only talks about the perfect story, but she talks about the perfect year with having how to market and sell your work in addition to how to write it. And then I took some other uplifting classes, some classes on how to coach, which is where and how I developed my coaching program at the Bohemian Badass. I did a YouTube Jumpstart course, which really helped me to hone my ideas of what kind of YouTube vlogging brand I wanted, which is great. And so that's exciting. So I did a lot of studying, and not only studying, but turning that knowledge into actual physical products or businesses or tools, which is, in my opinion, the only way to really learn and to really get anything out of your learning is to learn the thing, but also take what you're learning and create some kind of deliverable or tool or service out of it. Like, that is really what I think learning is about. So Creative Uni was so on fleek this summer, and that was excellent. I'm going to end the creative achievement part of this entire podcast with just, again, some other thoughts on self-care and wellness and glowing up, because that was a big part of my summer this summer. As you guys know, I not only engaged in physical self-care, but also mental and emotional self-care. And so for my physical self-care, one of the biggest accomplishments that I achieved this summer was, let me do the math. So I lost 13 pounds, which is great. And this is not to say I wasn't you guys can see me, I'm not, overweight by any means. But I do have goals, right? I have health goals, I have physical goals. And so, I mean, the fact that I was able to buckle down and get super disciplined and really take control of my physical health was just fantastic. I learned a lot about nutrition. I learned a lot about better exercise and sleeping habits. Getting real information, not fake information where people can sell you like a cheap diet pill or anything like that. Just learn some real knowledge about how to take care of myself. And that was, for me, extremely revolutionary, because in my family, we're not particularly health conscious. And I want to make sure that I am, and that I am on track to give my body the best tools it can ever have for having a long, functional life, right? So that's one of the biggest milestones I met. A part of meeting those milestones was not only learning more about nutrition and health and exercise and applying that new knowledge to those things, but it also included me keeping a daily health journal, researching more about plant-based diets and trying to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, and have those to try to have those be the majority of what I eat, even if I don't phase out meat completely. What else did I do? Just sleep more. Remember what good sleep actually felt like. And actually, after this, I'm going to take a nap. So I not only will remember what it feels like, but I will also experience what that feels like. Some other things that are more sort of intangible results of my self-care and wellness journey was that, I really learned, again, how to treat myself a lot better and not put all the stress on myself to do everything. So that includes hiring out or ordering in whenever I need to do that to help out my motherhood, things, or to help me get stuff done around the house. Sometimes if you have to hire your village, that's just what you have to do, Maintaining a relatively regular spiritual practice and a deeper spiritual awareness was really great this summer. Learning to trust my intuition and divine guidance is really important and was really helpful for me personally. I'm not here to proselytize to you and tell you guys what you should be doing for your life. That's really on you. And I'm not here to sort of judge or anything. But I do know I feel more at peace personally when I have the time and the wherewithal to reflect on my place in the universe and on the things that I don't necessarily understand or can't see. So that's always really great and wonderful. And then I had a lot of fun with my daughter over the summer, which is always really important for self-care and wellness, especially when it comes to raising a family. So that's really great. As you guys know, too, I also, in addition to just taking care of myself and keeping myself well and healthy, I took all that to the next step with a glow up. And the glow up was really just about me reclaiming a lot of what I have lost in motherhood, in terms of when we become mothers, sometimes we lose sight of what it means to be a woman as well as being a mom, because those two things, they're linked, but they're also distinct and different. And I was tired of feeling matronly and run down and worn out and super sacrificial, putting everything before myself. And so I took some time to finally put me first. So, as you guys can see, getting nails done more. I went shopping. I completely revamped my entire wardrobe and just stopped looking like a bum. So it's just celebrating self, celebrating my womanhood, my femininity, just the glowing parts of what it means to be a woman steeped in the feminine divine and all that great stuff. And wearing my hair out much more often, which you don't see today, especially because it's raining. But, just doing that, wearing it out more often. And that it's just been really great. It's really helped me reclaim myself, but also help to boost my confidence and like just everything that I want to feel as a person. And that's something I want to offer to you. Because sometimes getting lost in our roles as either a mother, a father, a provider, a worker, a business owner, whatever roles you are taking on in your lives, aunties, uncles, etc. Don't forget that you're also you and you're a person and you need to be taken care of, even if that means that you have to take time to take care of yourself. So I really learned a huge lesson on that. And now that school has started back up, I'm directing, I'm super busy, and I'm also in mommy mode. I'm trying to find a way to balance my glow up, my self-care, and my wellness with all the crazy that's happening in my life. So it was a lot easier to take care of myself when I didn't have all these other responsibilities hanging over me, so to speak. But now that I have those things, I have to keep maintaining my glow up and not let myself fall off, and that has been a challenge. And that is something that's one of my goals for Q3, quadrimester 3 of 2018, is to stay on top of my wellness, self-care, and glow up and not let that slip away. And so merging all those parts of my life, but wrapping all that inside of a perspective of glowing up and self-care, that is going to be one of the primary personal challenges I have for the rest of the year. So we'll see how well I do with that. But since we're talking about goals for Q3, I'm going to quickly just run down all of the things that I want to get done for this final quarter, this final quadrimester, because that pretty much, all the things that I just told you guys pretty much conclude my major milestones for this quadrimester for Q2 from May 1st to August 31st. And now it's time to start thinking about how I'm going to close out the year. So usually my third quadrimester or my fourth quarter is about finishing all the things that I've started, or getting the things that I've started to a certain milestone, such that I can pick up with the beginning of the second milestone at the beginning of next year. So being that I'm focusing on finishing this year, for my novel and publishing goals, one of my goals, which I already achieved, was to finish publishing that collaborative dystopian series set that we were doing, Uprising, which launched, was successful, and I actually found a bunch of really great new readers who love my work through that. So that was great. So I did that. Another goal is to polish and publish the surrogate novella for the horror anthology box set that I'm in this quadrimester. Then I want to finish Hollow Point and publish it. I need to finish world building and writing an outline and doing a partial draft of the co-written novel for the Urban Fantasy USA Today aimed box set that I'm also participating in. So that box set will be launched around May or June of 2019, but we have to meet certain deadlines before we even get to that point. So I literally have these 3 major projects over my head for basically the rest of this year. We only have about 80 days left in the year before it's over. So it's so much. Wish me luck, guys. There's so much to do. So much to do. So that's just for my publishing goals, those 3 major projects. My directing and dramaturgy goals, I've actually already accomplished because I focused on dramaturging 2 plays in the month of September. And I mean active dramaturgy in the studio with actors and a director and the playwrights. And then I directed 2 plays and opened and closed those same 2 plays all in the month of September and the first week of October. So as of today, which is Friday, October 12th, I finished dramaturging The Parasites, which is a 10-minute play, Thursday, which is a 10-minute play, and I finished directing and opened and closed 2 other 10-minute plays called Seeking Betty and Deleted. So as for my directing and dramaturgy goals, as far as I'm concerned, I've had my fill of directing for this particular quadrimester. And what I'll be doing for the rest of the quadrimester with regard to directing is not an actual directing experience, but just studying directing. I'm taking, for example, the Martin Scorsese filmmaking class, the Werner Herzog filmmaking class, and the Ron Howard filmmaking class, all at masterclass.com. I'll be taking the acting classes by Dustin Hoffman, Steve Martin, and Samuel L. Jackson, so I can learn how, things work from the actor's perspective. And then I'll also, if I get to them, will be taking more directing and filmmaking classes from HollywoodCameraWork.com, which has an entire amazing course on not just directing actors, but also on staging and blocking, which is like incredible. I mean, come on, just amazing. So I will be continuing my study of directing, but in a very sort of quiet, I'm studying 1 lesson per day from these courses every single day. I'll also be studying more on musical theater, writing musicals, and directing musicals as well. So that's really exciting. So that's sort of, I guess I kind of gave you my creative uni goals for the quadrimester, for the 3rd quadrimester of this year. But that is how I'll be continuing my directorial study, is through actual self-study without experience. But the experiences directing this semester were also amazing. So great. TV writing goals. I want to finish, I'm crossing my fingers, it probably won't happen, but we'll see. I want to finish the TV series Bibles for 4 series that I'm developing: Surrogate, Ezekiel, Immortal, and The Camille. Those are my TV writing goals. My screenwriting goals are to finish a rough draft outline of 2 feature films I'm working on. That's The Monster Between Us, which is a Sandman prequel, and then Sandman. So I just want to finish the outline for those particular movies. I don't necessarily need to do anything else for this quadrimester. For The Bohemian Badass, I have a lot of goals, which probably won't get done, but I'm going to try my damnedest, right? So I want to finally officially launch The Bohemian Badass. I'm going to make that a priority for next week, so mid-October, which is like 6 weeks late, but it is what it is. I want to launch The Bohemian Badass with its first major post and vlog. The goals from then on is to keep up with the weekly blogging schedule, keep up with the weekly podcasting schedule. I need to finalize my font styles at thebohemianbadass.com, but I might not do that. We'll see. I think I'm being a little bit nitpicky at this point. Finish creating my official brand book, having written up and published at least 30 pieces of content by the end of the year, and then finish a rough draft version of the 5 TV development courses that I've been working on since this summer for The Bohemian Badass. So those are my goals for for the Bohemian Badass. For graduate school, major goals, major things I need to do is finish a solid draft of the master's thesis. So that's going to start this coming week, excuse me. Finish my dramaturgy comp exam, which is due at the end of December. And then finish all of my grading for my GTA course that I'm taking, that I'm TAing for, which is just sort of par for the course, as well as passing this one last class that I'm in. So I guess I need to add a couple more goals here, is to pass that class and to finish my first experimental dramaturgy casebook, which is, I don't know how useful it's going to be for me, but I'm just going to do it as a part of the class, and we'll see what happens. Creative uni goals. I already told you guys I'm going to be doing a deep study of filmmaking and directorial skills, but I'm also planning on activating the Creating a Terrifying Horror Script course this quadrimester, excuse me. I already studied it and completely broke it down and reverse engineered it. And now I want to activate the tools that I've created from that course by actually finishing, using all those tools to finish the outlines for my horror movies. So that's the plan. And I'll also be trying to continue studying screenwriting through all the courses and books and materials that I have already on those things. So that's actually a lot of goals for Creative Uni, and I probably won't get through them all, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Marketing goals. This quadrimester was really supposed to be about learning everything I can learn about every single social media marketing and selling outlet. And I'm still going to try to do that. But having gone through all of my goals and knowing how much time I have, I don't know if I'll be able to get to all of that by the end of the year. But I'm still going to put it out there into the universe, because you just never know. So marketing goals include keeping up with my podcast, which I've been doing actually pretty consistently, redesigning and completely rebooting my Kobe R. Rice author website using that DV web building software. Using the DV web building software. Why can I not speak today? Anyway, using that software to completely revamp my author website. Super excited about that. Cannot wait. I don't know if I'm going to get that done, but I'm going to try. And then I wanted to really dive deeply into each one of these social media outlets and each one of these marketing outlets. So learning more about Amazon ads, Facebook ads, Instagram for authors, Pinterest for authors, Twitter for authors, Facebook groups, pages, and just Facebook in general for authors, YouTube for authors, LinkedIn for authors, etc. I wanted to really do a study of each one of these platforms and figure out all the little tips, tricks, and tools that are available to us, and then again reverse engineer those tools to best assist authors and artists and creatives. So I'm still going to try to do that, and if I don't get it done this semester or this quadrimester, then that will probably be the way that I lead next year, from January 1st all the way until April 30th of next year. I also, for my Patreon page, and thank you so much to all my wonderful patrons. You guys are amazing. I wanted to finish updating my page with the milestones and goals for my Patreon, finish updating the rewards levels for my Patreon, and then make sure that all of my past activities and current milestones are hitting my Patreon page. And, with all these goals and marketing things that I need to do, I still need and want to hire some help, but I have to still figure out how I'm going to end up training this person in order to have them fit into my business. So I'm still trying to figure that out, guys, honestly. So until then, I have to roll solo dolo, but hopefully at some point in 2019, I can hire that person. And then for self-care, glow up, and health, I just want to keep on my path, keep trying to get buff and cool and stay slim and keep eating well. Keep meditating, or try to develop a meditation practice in addition to my spiritual practice. And just keep putting myself first as often as possible. And not in a selfish way, but more in a, I need to take care of myself, else I can't take care of other people sort of way. So that is a lot of goals. It's a lot of goals, but I like aiming really high. I tend to finish about 25% to 50% of what I set out to do, and then I just roll the next 50% over into the next quadrimester or quarter. So that should be super de-duper exciting, regardless of where these things end up. And I just want to sort of end this on just another gushy round of gratitude, because despite the fact that I don't meet all of my goals and all of my accomplishments, the fact that I even have the capacity to pursue these things, and that I'm still comfortable and able to just like live a relatively comfortable lifestyle, where I'm fully available to my daughter, to my businesses, to my writing, to my creativity, despite all the drama in graduate school, it is a real blessing. It is a real blessing, and I don't ever want to forget how blessed I am to just even be able to sit and make all these goals, whereas other people in the world can't make as many goals as they want because they have to work, backbreaking hours or what have you. And so that's one thing I sort of wanted to end on, is just a note of gratitude and happiness as to the things that I have going on. And I do want to honor my own good fortune and my blessings by being the best I can be and availing myself of all of the materials, skills, knowledge, tools, courses, people, opportunities that I have at my disposal. Because some people have opportunities and they just squander them and they don't care. And I don't ever want to be that person. So continue to expect that I'm going to keep hustling. I'm going to keep creating, and I'm going to keep it indie. And I expect you guys to do the same. So having said that, keep creating, stay badass, stay indie. I think I did that in the wrong order. But it doesn't matter. Still go out in the world and do your own things. Create your own goal list. Create your own self-evaluation, and really feel proud of what you're doing at the end of each quarter, because it really is helpful to keep you moving forward. Keep being so badass. And I will talk to you guys next week. All right? See you soon. Mwah. Bye. And thanks for hanging around for my little update. I know it was long, but bye.